Neolithic Britain was a time of remarkable innovation. Communities relied not only on survival skills, but on technology to shape their world. Polished stone axes, flint tools, pottery, and craft techniques allowed people to clear forests, build homes, cook food, and create trade networks linking distant communities. Tools and materials became markers of expertise and social prestige. Craftsmanship and creativity were visible in polished axes, carefully chipped flint, and decorated pottery. Meanwhile, trade allowed communities to share resources, ideas, and cultural practices across Britain. Through these innovations, Neolithic people reshaped both their environment and social life. Technology held deeper social and symbolic significance, intertwining with daily life, identity, and status. It set the foundation for a connected, dynamic society that endured for generations. If you enjoy exploring history and ancient innovations, please like this video and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the past. One of the most iconic Neolithic tools was the polished stone axe. Unlike earlier rough flint implements, these axes were carefully shaped and polished, producing a smooth, durable surface. They were essential for clearing dense forests, shaping timber for homes, and constructing boats. Polishing the axes required time, skill, and knowledge of the stone's properties. Larger axes likely conveyed status within a community, signaling expertise and social prestige. Handles were shaped from timber and fitted to the stone, creating resilient tools capable of repeated use. Communities maintained axes through sharpening and repair, ensuring they remained effective over years of use. These tools represent more than innovation. They illustrate deliberate design and foresight. By mastering polished axes, Neolithic people transformed landscapes, enabling permanent settlements, agriculture, and the construction of homes and monuments. Craftsmanship became intertwined with identity, with axes serving both practical and social purposes, demonstrating skill and standing within the community. While polished axes transformed forests, flint remained central to daily life. Sharp and versatile, flint was used for cutting, scraping, hunting, and crafting tools. Communities went to extraordinary lengths to obtain high-quality stone, demonstrating careful planning and technical knowledge. Grimes Graves in Norfolk is a remarkable example. Miners dug deep vertical shafts using antler picks, extracting high-quality flint nodules for shaping into tools. The site shows one of Britain's earliest examples of industrial-scale extraction. Other sites, such as Cissbury Ring in Sussex, also reveal extensive flint mining. Flint tools were highly specialized. Arrowheads, scrapers, chisels, knives, each crafted for particular tasks. Skillful flaking produced sharp edges, reflecting intimate knowledge of material properties. High-quality flint was also traded over long distances, illustrating early networks of exchange and the value placed on expertise. Flint was more than a material. It was a marker of technical mastery. Communities invested time, labor, and knowledge into extraction and manufacture, integrating craft into social and cultural life. Its importance extended from practical use to identity, status, and inter-community relationships. Pottery emerged alongside other Neolithic innovations. Early vessels were functional, used for cooking, storing grain, or fermenting food. Made from local clay, they were shaped by hand and fired in simple kilns, often plain in design. Over time, regional styles developed, reflecting cultural identity and artistic expression. For instance, Grimston Lyle's Hill would demonstrate stylistic variation across Britain. Some pottery may have been used in feasting or ceremonial contexts, showing that these objects carried social as well as practical significance. Pottery production required knowledge of clay types, tempering, and firing techniques. Villagers mixed materials carefully, shaped vessels precisely, and controlled firing to avoid cracking. The emergence of decorated pottery highlights the Neolithic combination of utility and creativity, turning everyday objects into expressions of community identity. Pottery also enabled resource management. By storing liquids and foodstuffs, communities could plan for lean periods, preserve surpluses, and support permanent settlement. These vessels were central to domestic life, daily routines, and social interaction, bridging practicality and culture. Neolithic Britain was far from isolated. Trade networks stretched across the island, connecting communities over vast distances. Tools, pottery, shells, pigments, and other rare materials moved hundreds of miles, strengthening social ties and facilitating cultural exchange. Notably, great Langdale axes from Cumbria have been found in southern England, illustrating the long-distance movement of prized stone tools. Exotic shells, pigments, and materials traveled between coastal and inland settlements, supporting shared rituals, feasting, and social alliances. These networks required organization and planning. Communities coordinated production, transport, and exchange, creating a system of mutual reliance. Trade was not purely economic. It reinforced identity, skill, and social prestige, while encouraging innovation and the spread of techniques. Through these networks, Neolithic Britain was a vibrant, interconnected society. Knowledge, materials, and cultural practices flowed across distances, allowing communities to benefit from distant expertise while maintaining local traditions and identity. In Neolithic Britain, tools and craft expressed more than practicality. They conveyed social meaning. Polished axes, flint implements, and decorated pottery reflected craftsmanship, social standing, and personal identity. Producing these items demanded experience, care, and cooperative effort. Miners extracted flint, potters prepared clay, craftsmen polished axes. These specialized roles created interdependence within villages and reinforced cohesion, demonstrating how innovation and culture were inseparable. Technology held deep symbolic significance. Objects were used in rituals, feasts, or as gifts, strengthening alliances and cultural continuity. Beyond survival, tools and craft communicated expertise, prestige, and belonging. Communities were judged not only by their productivity, but by the quality and artistry of their creations. Through this lens, Neolithic Britain emerges as socially complex and innovative. Craft, technology, and material culture were intertwined, shaping relationships, status, and the identity of both individuals and communities. Tools, pottery, and trade created a landscape that was both practical and social. Communities shared materials, techniques, and cultural practices across Britain, forming an early interconnected society. Archaeological evidence reveals that polished axes, flint tools, and distinctive pottery styles were recognized across regions. Goods moved long distances, knowledge spread, practices were exchanged, reflecting deliberate organization and cooperation. Villages balanced self-sufficiency with these wider connections, enabling resilience and adaptability. These networks strengthened social bonds, ensured access to essential resources, and fostered innovation. Neolithic Britain was dynamic, creative, and socially complex. A society where technology, craft, and exchange shaped both survival and culture. By studying these networks, archaeologists can trace the movement of ideas, materials, and people, reconstructing the intricate web of connections that underpinned early communities. Neolithic Britain was defined by ingenuity, skill, and connectivity. Polished axes reshaped landscapes. Flint tools supported daily life. Pottery stored and expressed culture, and trade linked distant communities. Tools and craft shaped culture as well as survival. strengthening social bonds and enabling permanent settlement. The story of Neolithic technology and trade reveals a society that was inventive, socially aware, and remarkably interconnected. If you've enjoyed exploring Neolithic Britain, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories from the ancient world.